A Texas-born business earned special attention in Monday's State of the State address. Governor Abbott spotlighted visionary fiber technologies in Lockhart as an example of the state's growing economy. The company's innovations with micron fibers help multiple industries with refining and processing operations. While the governor highlighted success stories of bringing businesses to Texas, he said there's more to do to keep companies in the state. He wants lawmakers to protect businesses from COVID-related lawsuits.
They have gone above and beyond throughout the pandemic to open and to operate safely. And yet, those same businesses now face the crosshairs of lawsuits. Texas businesses that have operated in good faith shouldn't have their livelihoods destroyed by frivolous lawsuits. I'm asking the legislature to quickly get a bill to my desk that provides civil liability protections for individuals, businesses, and healthcare providers that operated safely during the pandemic. This is an emergency item this session.
The governor spoke little about Texans who lost their jobs in the past year. The Democratic response included a message from an iron worker. He highlighted needs to help working Texans.
Working Texans want a fair shot to get ahead, but the Republicans in charge at the Capitol aren't getting the job done. We're sick of politicians who care more about political donors than about our paychecks, and who we work to cut taxes for big business, even when those companies ship jobs overseas. We need higher wages, more access to job training and apprenticeships, good public schools for our kids, and we need better access to the COVID vaccine.
The ongoing need to help Texans facing lost jobs had the lawmakers on our panel looking toward bipartisan solutions. Listen.
7 million people in the state of Texas, unemployed, that file unemployment claims. We've got to make certain we do better in terms of that system. We're going to have to work together in order to get that done. I would hope that it's not just a Republican solution, but it needs to be a Republican and a Democrat solution. We need to be doing more things on a bipartisan basis in terms of authors of these bills. Even though Republicans control the legislature, if we're going to get things done, let's work together in order to get them done.
Jim, I'm just curious on what Texans think when it comes to jobs. Is that number one on their mind?
Well, it depends how you ask, but one thing we do know is that we used to see prior to the pandemic, prior to the recent economic dislocations because of the pandemic, that when you asked people about their assessments of their economic situation, it was really fundamentally shaped by partisanship, who was in charge of policy. The objective conditions have gotten serious enough, the kinds of problems everyone is talking about, that we've seen that kind of drop out. Republicans and Democrats are now both saying, I'm doing worse off than I was a year ago. I think the state is worse off than it was a year ago. So however people are trying to interpret it, the fundamental experiences that people are having are much harder than they've been in Texas for a long time.
Right.
And could I jump in
Please.
real quickly? And I agree with Senator West. We get a lot of phone calls helping people with the Workforce Commission, but there again, they were inundated in a system that they didn't have any way to keep up with because they have never been through a pandemic either. But that is one thing. Jobs are very important, and we've got to make sure, Senator West too, that we do work together. And we will work together, and I'm looking forward to working with you because people do need to get their jobs back. That's why we've got to get the economy open. That's why we have to keep the economy open so people can get their jobs back and can go on with their lives.
A spirit of cooperation at the Capitol could turn one of Governor Abbott's emergency items into law.
Broadband access is not a luxury. It is an essential tool that must be available for all Texans.
How a need for speed highlighted by the pandemic is bringing lawmakers from both parties together to find solutions.